Welcome back. We're now going to look at some panning practices. I've got two hi-hats playing here, hi-hat 1 and hi-hat 2. Let me just play them for you. One's a tambourine, the other one's an old school metallic hat. Difficult to differentiate between the two because they're playing together. Best way to make sure there's no summing going on and masking of frequencies is to pan one way and the other one the other way. So now we've got both playing, panned extreme left and right. Sounds unnatural to me because the way these sounds are portrayed as samples is they've already got pan information in there. So right now they're sounding a little askew. Don't worry about that. We play around with that later and get things to sound a little more homogeneous like that. So now we've got separation and we can hear both sounds. We have the same thing happening here. I left the kick in here because it's got a tonal quality, this kick, which is electronic. Let's bring in another hat here. So these are all playing at the same time. And if you look at the equalization on the kick, I've taken out a lot of the low end here. That sounds nice and crisp, but you can see how much information we have here. And the snare fill also has information there. With regards to the two hats, they're occupying this end here around 5.2 to 5.5 kilohertz. So again, same thing. We can go in and pan one left, pan one right, and now we've separated them, whereas if we left them as they were, it's hard to hear one above the other. There's a lot of masking going on between these two hats here. Apart from the summing we're going to have, simply because they're sharing frequencies, it's mainly the masking that I'm worried about here. So the metal hat is masking the hi-hat loop effect. And that's pretty much it. So now you can have separation just through pans. While we're here, let me just mention a lot of producers use what we call LCR, left, center, right. In other words, when they pan, they go full left, full right, center, and so on. That's great, but for some sounds it can, especially stereo samples that have then been imported into a project, so they're recorded with pan positions, that can skew your sounds a little bit. And I'm hearing it a bit here, and I heard it on the hi-hat 1 and 2. So I tend to move with smaller values. Sometimes I'll use a dual panner if I've got a range I need to move left or right, as opposed to spot panning, which is an individual sound in one spot. But we'll tackle those later in the project. Right, so remember, pan to separate frequencies that either sum or mask each other.